Hello everyone! Today I will be training Maple, and while I do that we will be talking about all the different Generation 1 horses and which one is my favorite. So to start out, I'm gonna list all the horse breeds. My bad. It's been a long day. I'm going to list all of the horse breeds that are considered to be Generation 1. Most of these horse breeds have been redone, so they're going to sound familiar, but they are really, really old. So to start, I've got the horses split into different groups based on their model, because in Generation 1, there was only like 7 models, I believe. So the first model would be what I would like to call the Accoltech or the Selle Francaise model. So there were a total of quite a few different horses in this model. I will list them off for you right now. Accoltech, Appaloosa, American Paint Horse, Danish Warmblood, Dutch Warmblood, Morab, Morgan, Oldenburg, Selle Francaise, and Westphalian. Now, some of these horses, to make them look different, they had different face markings and different colors. So, for example, I always felt like the Morabs looked really weird because they had super light markings around their eyes, like it was some sort of weird fade. Anyway, so that's the first model / set of breeds that is on the table to be the favorite. The next model on the list is the Arabian Thoroughbred. So this model was kind of cool. One thing I liked the most about Arabian Thoroughbreds was they looked shiny. So like their coats were all super shiny. They weren't matte like a lot of the other breeds were at the time. They looked, camera ready. Okay, they were flashy. I did not like their hair. I remember that. I felt like their hair was not pretty. It was like limp noodles and it wiggled and it didn't look good. So I did not like their hairs. Next on the list of horses in Generation 1 is the Chincoteague pony and the Jorvik pony. Now these guys are together because they have the very similar model. I think the only real difference was their hair was a little bit different in between the breeds. Sorry. Yeah, that was the big difference. They had different markings and everything. I did get a Jorvik pony. I did not get a Chincoteague pony. Next on the list is the Fjord horse. Back in the day, you had to complete so many reputation quests and have Dino Valley unlocked just to get this horse. Because these horses are difficult to get, they just have some extra value, and if you have this horse and people see you on it, people would know you were, one, a high enough level to get into Dino Valley, and also they would know that you had spent a lot of time in the game working on reputation quests. The next section of horse breeds on my list is the Frisian horse, the Frisian sport horse, and the Jorvik Andalusian. I did get one of these. At the time, having that curly hair was super cool because no other horses had that. None of them had long hair like that. And it was super exciting to see that come into play. So if you didn't want a boring horse with straight hair, you would get one of these guys. And then the last horse on my list is the Irish Cob and the North Swedish horse. And of course, most of these horses got remade, so these names do sound familiar. The North Swedish horse and the Irish Cob were the first drafty type breed, which was super cool because nobody had that yet. We all just had the warm blood type horses, the Arabian and pony type horses, and then the Fjord, which is kind of a mix between that. And then the Frisians were so tall, but the Irish Cob and the North Swedish were the first true drafty breeds, other than the Frisian. So those are all of the horses in Generation 1. Obviously we had the Generation 1 starter horse as well, but I don't have any pictures of that. So out of all of those breeds, the one I dislike the most is probably the Arabian Thoroughbred. I never even looked at buying one. My favorite breed has got to be between the Fjord horses and the Frisian Sport horses. The reason I like both of those breeds is because they were different, unique, separate from, being just a general horse. They were draftier, they had more lore behind them. The biggest reason I really liked the Frisian horse and the Frisian Sport horse and the Andalusian was because of the curly hair. It was different and it was long, which was unseen so far in the game. I really liked the Fjord because you had to actually progress in the game in order to have a Fjord. So I felt like it was like something you could take pride in having. And another thing to think about is now that all these horses are no longer in the game, if you have one, it's really seen as like super cool and unique. It's cool to have a horse that other people can't get anymore. So that is kind of my take on the Generation 1 horses. Let me know what type of videos you guys would like to see, and let me know what breed of Generation 1 horse was your favorite. If you have pictures, feel free to send them in the comments.